Milan's motorways deserted. Paris eerily quiet. Venice empty. Around the world, countries closed, as more than 100 million Europeans are now living in lockdown. In the last hour, Italy announced they have had 368 more deaths in a day, as the nation desperately tries to build new intensive care units. To Spain, where they woke up to their first day of their new normal. People only allowed to leave the house to buy food and medicine. Once mundane weekly shops, now stockpiling, as the country enters a 15-day state of emergency. And welcome to the future. Police fly drones in Madrid telling people to stay at home, as deaths from the coronavirus more than doubled in a day. 288 people have now died in Spain. In France, cafes, restaurants, cinemas and gyms closed as the polls opened for local elections, voting in a more vulnerable-looking Paris, as President Macron said lockdown would continue for weeks.
Only a few hours ago, many of our fellow citizens were still at terraces or cafes, living as if nothing had happened. We told them simply that this is no longer possible. It's stupid. You're making a mistake because you're exposing each other.
As Germany is set to close its borders to France, Switzerland and Austria, where the Austrian government have now banned gatherings of more than 5 people. While nobody is going anywhere fast in Chicago, arriving to hours of queues for medical screenings at airports. In Dallas, no sign of social distancing here. Passengers waited to have their temperatures taken as President Trump's coronavirus test results arrived back negative. And then there are those who want to get home but can't. In Morocco, they've cancelled flights to and from 25 countries. As the British ambassador to Morocco had these words: "We will get you home, but it will take some time. If you see an available flight, I cannot advise you strongly enough to get on it. And if you're in the UK and thinking of travelling to Morocco, please don't." While on board a cruise ship where at least 5 people have coronavirus, stranded 600 passengers, most of them British, as the crew frantically searches for somewhere to dock. So far refused entry at several Caribbean ports. In LA, they're queuing to panic buy guns. But at this festival in Mexico, what coronavirus pandemic? Temperatures were taken on arrival. In Russia, some hoped for healing, kissing religious relics. And in Dublin, they continued to dance through the corona crisis in the Temple Bar clubs. Today, the hangover. Those, it turns out, were last orders. The government announcing all pubs in Ireland will now close. After the party, the deep clean begins.
Minnie Stevenson. Well, joining me now from Yorkshire is the former Director of Maternal and Child Health at the World Health Organization and now Professor of Global Health at UCL, Professor Anthony Costello. Thanks for coming on the programme, Professor Costello. When you look at the numbers in the UK now, when you look at the numbers in Italy, and when you remember what the numbers were like in China, are we going to be Italy in 2 weeks from now?
Yes.